Sun cast a shadow, a digital line is coming over the mountain and over your mind. Double down your Bitcoin, hang on for the ride. We're moving into the future, one block at a time. We're moving into the future, one block at a time.
Welcome to Once Upon a Coin, documenting the ongoing history of blockchain and cryptocurrency. And as always, I'm your storyteller, Jason Cassidy. Today's story has us looking at one of the most important and least understood blockchain tools in the entire industry. It is your best friend when you need to understand why the Bitcoin you just sent your buddy hasn't been received yet, and it's what MacGyver would have used numerous times if he was still kicking it in the digital age. This tool is that good.
Dang.
This is the story of block explorers. Okay, so now that I've got your attention, let's start things off by first addressing what exactly a block explorer is. Block explorers have played a pivotal role in the development and adoption of blockchain technology over the years. In a nutshell, a block explorer is a utility that allows you to take a glimpse into any given blockchain network, accessed through a web browser. You can think of a block explorer as a type of search engine for the blockchain, allowing you to look up and into various functions from the past all the way up to the present.
Block explorers are vital tools for people who want to dig in further as analysts, especially for institutions who are conducting proper investigations in the blockchain. You can see a lot of data. Blockchain.com has one. For Ethereum, etherscan.io is an incredible tool. It can show you transaction times, fees, costs, explain why things are happening on the blockchain. You can also see a project or token. Who are the top holders? What have they been doing with their tokens? The analytics available for block explorers are massive. In dealing with any blockchain, if you're truly doing your own research, you will have the block explorer that gives you that data, and you'll be looking at it before you make a decision.
When Satoshi Nakamoto first released Bitcoin back in early 2009, no block explorers existed yet, which meant you had to be a lot more industrious and tech savvy if you wanted to look into the inner workings of your wallet, transactions, and all the other activities taking place on the Bitcoin blockchain. Believe it or not, it wasn't Satoshi who first introduced the world to the block explorer, because that accomplishment was credited to Rick Folkving. He founded the Swedish Pirate Party, a political group that formed in 2006 and was an offshoot of the popular file-sharing site, the Pirate Bay. In 2010, Folkving launched blockexplorer.com, the world's first block explorer that gave users a handy utility and allowed them to take an in-depth look into the inner workings of the blockchain. To the surprise of no one, the ability to navigate a user-friendly interface that allowed Bitcoiners to look up transactions was an instant hit and quickly became the go-to tool for conducting on-chain research. This innovation became so popular, in fact, that not too long after blockexplorer.com's release, other block explorers began to pop up and follow suit. In 2011, Ben Reeves launched blockchain.info, another block explorer for the Bitcoin blockchain. And in 2012, Reeves joined forces with Brian Armstrong, and they both applied to the Y Combinator summer class. The duo proposed a payments platform where users could store their coins in a digital wallet and swap currencies for Bitcoin, for a nominal fee, of course. However, as fate would have it, before the summer program kicked off, the two entrepreneurs had a falling out. Reeves believed the platform should allow users to maintain control over their Bitcoin information, while Armstrong felt the better solution was for the platform to hold custody over users' coins, much like a traditional bank. Reeves decided to continue focusing on his creation at blockchain.info, while Armstrong went on to create one of the biggest companies in cryptocurrency history in Coinbase. Both companies still exist today and are thriving, with blockchain.info having been rebranded to blockchain.com. As more people kept joining the blockchain space with the advent of altcoins like Namecoin and Litecoin, along with early crypto exchanges and wallet providers, the number of transactions just kept growing in volume, and with it, the need for tools to help visualize what was happening on the blockchain. To fully appreciate what block explorers do for us, it's best to look at how a blockchain functions. Data on the blockchain are stored in blocks, which are cryptographically linked together in chronological order, starting with the first block ever created on a blockchain, which is called the Genesis block, all the way up to present day. Block explorers access and visualize this data stored in the blockchain by connecting to the nodes of that blockchain. thus the term Block Explorer. They can retrieve data such as transaction history, blocks, addresses, hashes, the type of assets being held in a wallet, plus the date and the time that all these things happened. The Explorer then visualizes that data in a simple-to-use interface, allowing cryptonauts to perform searches and analyze all the information that's returned. As you can probably start to see here, Block Explorers are quite literally the windows to the soul of the blockchain. Over time, more networks popped up that, while not able to dethrone Bitcoin, still made a pretty big impact on the industry and justified having their own Block Explorers. This was the case for Ethereum, the current number 2 blockchain in the world. When the Ethereum blockchain launched in 2015, it was going to need its own Block Explorer to help users navigate this new digital realm. This is where Etherscan.io appeared, launched in 2015 itself and serving as a perfect complement to the nascent Ethereum blockchain. Being the first Block Explorer for Ethereum, and given how popular Ethereum was right out of the gate, Etherscan saw a tsunami of activity in action and is still today one of the most popular Block Explorers in all of crypto, and it's my personal go-to tool for all things Ethereum. In that same year of 2015, another blockchain company began to make some serious waves. BlockCypher, a web services company, completed a $3.1 million seed funding round to expand its services, including more advanced blockchain analytics. This is what led them to launching their own Block Explorer, one that would look to dig even deeper and help people understand the real story behind the blockchain. By the time 2016 came around, there were now numerous other standalone blockchain networks that were looking to accomplish things that were completely different than Bitcoin, and thus they needed their own unique set of tools. A good example of this is Ripple, which had its own Block Explorer called XRP Charts. Another was Hyperledger, who introduced Hyperledger Explorer, which would allow members to look up network information, chain codes, transaction families, and just about anything else that was relevant to the ledger. By 2017, the world was ready for the next great bull market in crypto, led by none other than, you guessed it, Bitcoin. So while all these new coins, wallets, and exchanges were emerging to grow the industry and give people more options, Bitcoin was still the undisputed king and was seeing the lion's share of new user growth and all the capital that was chasing after it. This created opportunities for new Bitcoin-focused Block Explorers to join the space, while existing Block Explorers were seeing historic levels of traffic and usage due to the exploding popularity of Bitcoin. One of the lucky recipients of this was Blockchair, who had a compelling offering in that it not only focused on Bitcoin, but other coins as well. This is when we see multi-chain Block Explorers start to gain prominence, as you could now go to one single website and get all of your analytical needs met on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Doge, and many other popular coins. Privacy-focused cryptocurrencies were also beginning to gain traction, and given the complex nature on how they attained their privacy, special Block Explorers were needed to help unpackage all the action that was happening behind the scenes on their blockchains. Monero, the leader of the privacy movement, had its own place to call home in Monero blocks, where users could turn to when needing to look up key information on the blockchain. After the bull market ended and a long crypto winter set in, the price action died down considerably. But that didn't mean that innovation just stopped. In fact, it was quite the opposite. New creations like Layer 2 solutions for top blockchains made their presence felt around this time. Blockstream, a top Bitcoin technologies company, introduced the Liquid network on October 11th, 2018. This is a second layer protocol that allows for faster and cheaper transactions than can be achieved on the main Bitcoin blockchain. Their native Explorer, Blockstream Explorer, supports the Liquid network, and you can do the same cool research on this sidechain as you can do on the Bitcoin mainnet. Other popular Layer 2 solutions emerged, like the Lightning Network, which today has many Block Explorers dedicated to it, and the loyal Bitcoiners that make use of it. Bitcoin wasn't the only show in town though when it came to having its own Layer 2 solutions. Ethereum saw Matic, now rebranded to Polygon, launch what is to date the most successful Layer 2 for Ethereum, of which there are now many technologies competing for that title. When using the Polygon network, you will eventually find the need for a trusty Block Explorer, and Polygon has you covered there. By 2020, NFTs, or non-fungible tokens, were becoming the next big thing in crypto. This led to the emergence of Block Explorers that could cater to the unique characteristics of NFTs. Names like NFT Scan stepped up to the plate to offer streamlined data on all things NFT and Web3. A tool that would prove invaluable to developers and investors who were taking this new category of crypto seriously. Existing block explorers also got in on the action and added support for NFTs to ensure that they didn't lose any of their current customer base. And that pretty much brings us to the present day, where there are now hundreds of block explorers out there to choose from. Some have gone on to become titans of the industry, while others have become niche offerings, looking to focus exclusively on just one blockchain and cater to both the needs and virtues of that group of users. Block explorers have been able to keep up with the times and offer a heck of a lot more today than they did over a decade ago when they first started. Some of the things today that you can do with block explorers are transaction and wallet address searches, look up wallet holdings of a user, analyzing blocks and hashes, real-time network monitoring, smart contract interaction, open API access for developers to make use of, smartphone accessibility so you can do detective work on the go, and rich lists, showing you the top holders of any given coin, also called whales. In summary, block explorers are responsible for helping the industry understand what blockchains are doing and putting the power of visibility and transparency in the hands of the user. The flexibility to look up and see just about anything you could ever possibly want to know in just a few seconds has greatly helped the industry bring in new users and companies. Beyond that, it's also offered a starting place to conduct forensic research for both governments and law enforcement. When I started out, they helped demystify a new technology like blockchain, empowering me to jump in further and learn how the technology actually worked. So if you're new to crypto, then I highly encourage you to familiarize yourself with how block explorers work, because it'll greatly help you along your journey on this blockchain adventure. I hope you enjoyed today's stroll down memory lane. Until next time, have fun and enjoy life, my friends. I'll be back soon with another incredible story to tell you.